Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hardcore Fab YouTube page. I'm Anthony Bronner, and today we're still working on the Vette Kart. Alright, so I'm going to catch you guys up on what I've been doing here. Went ahead and got the LS53 truck motor dropped down in there. Bought some plates off of eBay. 26 bucks, so you know I can't mess with that for 26 bucks. You can see that I did have to cut a little bit of the crossmember out down there just to be able to clear everything, and it is kind of snug on the firewall. Clipped a little bit off of that box right there, and then over here on this side we are right up against the firewall there on the back of the head. Of course, the angle of the motor is not set right or anything because there's no transmission or anything in there, so it's just sitting there. But these plates that I bought do have some other holes in there that we can move those motor mounts around a little bit. So I'm going to be able to move that forward probably around ½ inch or so, and I think that's going to give us about all the clearance we need. So overall, the motor fits in there pretty decent. Now, if it was still a full car and you were thinking about doing that, the hood probably isn't going to clear because you can get down about right here, you can see that that intake is actually sticking up higher than the firewall. But you know, if you had like an LS1 style intake or something like that, it actually might clear, other than, you know, some other stuff on the hood. I don't know what else is in there for bracing and everything. Moving on, I went ahead and threw the seats back in there just for mock-up, so that I can have something to sit in there and check and make sure that my head clears and everything when I'm building the rest of the cage. And if they get burned up or whatever, who cares? Cleaned this up a little bit more back here on this post, and I think when it's all said and done, probably going to have to clean the rest of this off. Just take that piece off there so we can get in here and weld around all the tubes and stuff when it comes time to do all that. And that's about it for right now. I need to go ahead and make some plates that will fit over all of this area and give us a good spot to start putting some tube down. I need to level the car out. Unfortunately, my shop, where it's sitting right now, has actually got a drain over here in the floor to the left, and you can see the car isn't level. So got to level the car all out, actually get it onto some metal too instead of on the fiberglass there, and make sure it's truly level. But get that taken care of. And what I've been sitting here thinking about is I'm gonna bring a bar kind of off over here a little bit and kind of bring it down at an angle and probably come to a point kind of right in the center. And then the same thing up there, I'm going to bring it down, come to a point, and then I'll make a grill opening here in the front area. And I'm going to go ahead and use the stock radiator. It fits in there pretty decent because, of course, it came out of the car, so why wouldn't it? I can get it sit there a little bit here. It's kind of balanced there. Obviously that's not how it's going to get mounted, but so that kind of gives you an idea of close to what size of grill I need and stuff. But I do think I want the point to come down in the front and kind of hang over that a little bit, just to give it some style on the body lines. Got to make some plates and go ahead and cap off. Ooh, I'm not very good at that with my finger. There we go. Right there at the end of the frame rail. So get that capped off and weld all that up, and be able to actually start putting the tube on there. So that'll be pretty sweet. I've got a roller that is a square tubing roller, and I also had a Harbor Freight tubing roller that sucked balls, so I'm not using that. But I took some of the dies off of it, made some shafts, and put some new pillow blocks in there. I'm gonna give this a shot and see if it works. Hopefully that'll give us what we need to be able to put some rolled tubing in there. Haven't tried it yet, so we'll see how that plays out. I don't know. That's kind of where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead and get started knocking out some metal. Well, that's total crap. As you can see, it does not work. What happened is the dies on the roller, the top one is flat and the other ones are concave to match the tubing. Well, the top one should be that way too, and I couldn't get enough bend out of it before it started warping the tube just a little bit. So this just isn't going to work. Front of this looks like a boat or something now. Nothing like what I had envisioned in my mind when I first started. I needed to be able to get more of a roll into it so that it would dip in the front more rather than coming straight out the front. So back to the drawing board on that. Everything did work out pretty good though as far as everything else. Got the end of the frame rails capped. All of the tubing I've got sitting up here, kind of reworked that window area a little bit right there with the hammer and dolly and stuff, and got it to where that tube will lay in there, so that's kind of cool. Got the plates in on both sides so that we could start putting some tube down from there up, do the main hoop and everything over your head. And then I found over here on the top of the door sill there's a pinch weld that as I got in and out of the seat, it would grab your pant leg or hand. So I found a piece of tubing and laid in there that fit pretty good, and I think that's just going to cap it off real nice. So going to go ahead and get some of that and lay in there. Also give us another place to attach some more tubing to. I've already got a couple of ideas in mind, but having these tubes that are rolled are still pretty useful and gives us lots of options that I didn't have before with just the tubing bender. So I think I'm going to be able to use it and make it work in another design. Probably going to throw a little pen to paper tonight, revamp this front end a little bit here, but shouldn't be too big of a deal. I think I can make it work pretty easy and have a pretty cool look still nonetheless. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, please like it and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.